Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1 for this afternoon. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jamal Ratnayaka. Let's start off with a look at headlines. Prime Minister says a people-oriented budget will be presented despite hardships. Bimal Veeravansa questions the Prime Minister on what conditions India agreed to provide $400 million to Sri Lanka. New General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party assumes duties. Trump walks out of shutdown talks with a bye-bye. On to your top local stories for this afternoon. The Government Medical Officers Association convened a media briefing. Our main attention was given to the ETCA treaty, which was to be signed with India. During that period, they managed to fool the people and sign that agreement in secret. Government workers aligned with us and we managed to stage several protests against this. We evoked the destruction that this treaty was going to bring to the country. In that, we constantly stressed that it should be made publicly available and the clauses should be made known to the people. Based on that, the President made this public around a week ago. We would like to thank the President for the action that he took and appointing a committee to prepare this report. We also thank him for creating an open environment where a debate on the report can take place on a national level without concealing it. In order for this agreement to be adopted in a manner where it would favor the country, our citizens should be aware of this committee report. As a whole, the harmful facts that we as the GMOA and other expert groups revealed on this Singapore agreement and several other trade agreements which took place over the past few years are true. The report by this committee has reiterated that. Dayasiri Jayasekara assumed duties as the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party today. The event took place at the SLFP headquarters. Several dignitaries, including President Maithripala Sirisena and the General Secretary of the United People's Freedom Alliance, Mahinda Amaraveera, were present at the occasion. It has been decided by the government to include law as a subject into the school curriculum. It has been planned to educate students on law under the citizenship studies subject from grade 6 to the ordinary level. The objective of this is to build a law-abiding and obedient society. Laws which pertain to road safety, child protection, fundamental rights, environmental protection laws and public property laws will be included in the syllabus. As the initial step of this process, the proposal presented by Minister of Justice and Prison Reforms, Thalatha Attukorala, to appoint an evaluation committee comprising of intellectuals from the field of law to present a report on this proposal has been approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. A media briefing was held yesterday in line with the National Day Against Child Abuse. The event was held at the auditorium of the Sri Lanka Medical Council. We should realize and recognize the unacceptable things that happen to children. When talking about sexual abuse, around 18 to 20% of boys and 10% of girls become victims of sexual abuse. Simply blaming the government will not work. We must take a stand as well. A wild elephant was knocked down by an SUV in Mayurapura Hambantota along the Mathara-Kataragama main road. This accident took place around 8 last night. A wild elephant met with an accident while crossing the road in the Mayurapura road in Hambantota. 3 people were injured and admitted to the Hambantota base hospital. A woman was also included in the injured and was admitted to the Karapitiya teaching hospital. According to our correspondent, a team from the Bundala Wildlife Reserve have been dispersed. According to our correspondent, a team from the Bundala Wildlife Reserve have been deployed to look into the condition of the elephant. The community service hall of Deyandara is in a dilapidated state. In January 1993, the community centre was built by the Janasavya community. About 220 families are living in this village and all community-based societies have been held in this hall. but they have to conduct their meetings under the trees. The activities of the preschool has also been hampered due to the dilapidated state of the hall. Although residents have requested permission to renovate the hall, which has been in this state for the past 4 years, they charge that the authorities have not paid any attention to it. The locals request the relevant authorities to immediately renovate the community hall. A fire erupted at a state-owned farm in Kotagala, Hatton yesterday. Local. A fire had erupted at a farm in Kotagala Forest Reserve yesterday, which is managed by the Livestock Development Board, according to the Dimbula police. The fire, which erupted around 2 yesterday, had destroyed around 25 acres of the reserve. The dry weather condition in the central hills and strong winds is causing the fire to spread more rapidly. According to our correspondent, cause of the fire is yet to be ascertained. The Dimbula police is conducting further investigations. Shifting your attention to some more news from here at home now, former governor of the Northern Province, Reginald Kure, was appointed as the chairman of the Gem and Jewellery Authority. He was appointed by President Maithripala Sirisena. Former governor of the Sabaragamuwa Province, Niluka Ekanayaka, was appointed by the President as the new chairman of the State Timber Corporation. Shifting our attention to some more news from here at home now, Deputy Speaker Ananda Kumarasiri told Parliament that the Constitutional Committee would be held at 10 AM tomorrow. Based on the decision reached at the meeting held between party leaders and the Speaker on the 9th of January 2019, the Constitutional Council will convene on the 11th of January at 10 AM. The process relating to the drafting of the new constitution was passed in Parliament. According to that, a notification of any meeting between the Constitutional Council should be given 3 days prior to such a meeting. You are stating today that the Constitutional Council will convene tomorrow. So the process this Parliament previously agreed to is completely contrary to what you are presenting now. This is being presented based on decision taken at the party leaders meeting. The party leaders meeting is not superior to the Parliament. It does not matter to me whether it was approved at the party leaders meeting. I am saying that it is against the decision reached by the Parliament. On to another headline-making story for this afternoon. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe made the following remarks in Parliament today. The total debt amount due for the year 2019 has been calculated as $5,900 million US. This is not the debt that we obtained. On the 14th of January, we have to service a debt of $2,600 million US, the highest amount in the Sri Lankan history. The economy, which was gradually stabilizing, was greatly affected by the political instability that prevailed for 51 days. The value of the Sri Lankan rupee depreciated by 3.8%. From the 26th of October 2018 to the 16th of December, an outflow of $312.9 million US of securities at the Treasury, $29.1 million US of Treasury bills and $29.8 million US of Treasury bonds were witnessed. Our foreign reserves, which were at $7,991 million US, reduced to $6,985.4 million US. At a time where we have too many expenses, we are trying not to burden the people of this country. Several countries have come forward to assist us. The Reserve Bank of India has agreed to provide $400 million US to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. We're also hoping to obtain $500 million US from China Panda bonds and Japanese Samurai bonds. We're also hoping to obtain $1 billion US from the International Monetary Fund. I'd like to highlight that we will present a people-oriented budget despite the difficulties and hardships we have to face. We would like to ask the Honourable Prime Minister if you have agreed to sell the China Bay Port, Mattala Airport, Kankasanthore Port and the Colombo East Terminal in return to the $400 million US granted by the Reserve Bank of India. Have you agreed or not? I do not know. Deputy Speaker, you don't agree for anything in return for a swap. This comes under the SARC currency swap. It does not mention there that these things have to be given on lease. Chinese port will be with us. We have shares in the Hambantota port. Colombo harbour will be with us. We have not pawned anything to India. When you get 400 million USD, they are jealous. And with that story, we conclude this edition of Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Jamal Ratnayaka. Take care and good afternoon.